and I'll let you know who's having an emotional breakdown and who isn't.
Read into that what you will about their mental side.
Hello and welcome to Green Queens,
the perfect podcast for imperfect environmentalists.
We are your hosts, Imogen Bogle, and she's Abbie Dewhurst.
Yes, she is. And she is so excited about this episode.
My goodness me, because I have had the joy of editing this particular episode and reliving what we did. But should we give the listeners an overview of what on earth they are about to listen to?
Yes. So we've been trying to come up with what the podcast equivalent of this would be. We have essentially vlogged, but plogged, would that be?
To Plodcast? Who knows?
We vlogcast. Yeah, we did something. We recorded snippets of an epic journey to get to Portugal via train. And why were we on our way to Portugal, Imogen?
Because our very, very dear friend, Jess Silver, got married. Now, Jess, if you haven't come across her, she is absolutely phenomenal. She has a sustainability community called Second Nature Sisters. She also has a company called Carbon Jacked, which is all about, like ESG reporting for various companies.
Yeah.
I've totally ruined what that is. And she is a presenter.
Yeah.
So we were like, this woman who is very dear to both of us and is so fiercely committed to the environment, we should be going to her wedding in Portugal in the lowest impact way that we possibly could. So we reached out to Interrail, who very generously supported this mission and gave us, what was the name of the pass that we had?
So we were gifted 2 Interrail Global passes, first class, may I add, and they're flexi passes where you can use them to travel over 7 days, as long as you use those 7 days within 1 month. So it is an amazing opportunity to kind of be as flexible as you want to be. The only thing is you do need to make seat reservations on a variety of different trains. And for us to leave the country and go to France, which was our first stop, we did have to get on the Eurostar, of which the Eurostar is an incredibly popular train. So you can't always be that spontaneous with it. You do have to be a little bit more organised with it, of which we were and weren't in equal measure, and you will hear that play out over the course of this episode. We recorded various conversations, various snippets on various different trains and in various different train stations. Maybe in a couple of taxis. I think the last recording you'll hear over the 2 episodes is one of which we are incredibly hungover post-wedding.
Oh, and also, if anyone is watching, some balloons just appeared in some sort of AI format there.
How mad.
But I guess a couple of caveats before you hear part 1 of this, because we're going to split it into part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
Our passes would have cost, they were generously gifted, they would have cost €363 or about £314. A normal pass would have cost €286 or about £250. So super comparable to what it would cost to fly.
Yeah.
And what we really wanted to try and achieve in this this journey is to prove that there can be value in that journey. We weren't trying to do this cheaper than it would have been to fly. It's a very, very different experience. The second caveat is that whilst we were doing this for work, in quotation marks, purposes, as part of the Green Queens podcast, we were on holiday. And as I listened back, I realised how much wine we consumed.
I think we would have not been dedicated to the cause to have gone on a girls' trip, slow travel, embrace the journey, and not do that with various different wines that we tasted that represented the various different destinations and places that we travelled through. If anything, we were being incredibly cultured.
Embracing the local culture, we are happy to do it.
Cuisine, yeah.
The final thing before we get into this is that obviously we would love to know what you think about this slightly different format, and if you think we should do any other similar formats in the future. But also, this was meticulously documented on social media, so please do head to
green.queens.pod. Yeah, I mean, we had so much fun documenting it, and I feel like it's a really special way for us to go back and just relive that trip. So we've saved highlights on the green.queens.pod Instagram story, so you can literally watch the whole trip. You can do it in real time as you listen to this podcast if you like. But yeah, this is what low carbon / lux travel, because those two things can simultaneously coexist, looks and sounds like.
Yeah, so I think without further ado, enjoy.
Should we hand it over to past us?
Rolling back to the past.
Yeah.
Well, we are on train 1.
Train 1, wine 2.
Train 1, wine 2.
You have had less wine than I have, I will say.
In the last 24 hours, I beg to differ.
We're on our way to France.
We're in France.
Well, we're in France.
That's exciting.
My phone caught up a bit quicker than yours did. So you were still in Dover, according to your phone, and I was in France. But we were, in fact, in France.
Experience of Eurostar so far?
Well, we have been very fortunate to be in first class.
Yeah.
Very fancy.
Yeah.
We've had a lovely little, you had a feta salad.
Yeah.
I had a chicken salad.
Yeah, and then we both had the chocolatiest watch of a dessert.
I mean, it was like dense taut.
It took us a good few minutes to chew through, but it was very enjoyable.
Yeah.
And we've been given free wine.
And also, does that happen on a plane, that you just immediately are presented with wine? I mean, it takes some faffing.
It takes some faffing, doesn't it? It takes some emergency exits, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But how are you feeling about the whole trip?
Okay, well, I have several confessions, in fact, that you have organised this entire thing.
I'm so anxious about this whole thing.
And I was saying to my husband, I was like, do you know, this has been incredible, because I've just, anything that Abbie has said, I've been like, I trust you.
I know. I was like, transfer me this money, and you were like, okay.
Okay, you're like, what do you think of this hotel? Fantastic. What do you think of this route? You've nailed it.
Yeah.
So I am feeling quite guilty, because I would say often in my friendship group, I'm the organiser.
Yeah. I feel I feel very proud that you just allowed me to get on with this.
I think it's a testament to our friendship that I just totally trust you. So I'm feeling really excited and very relaxed, but I can sense that you have a little bit more anxiety about the logistics of this.
I just think it was, I'll be totally honest, not the most straightforward thing to book. So we have been really kindly gifted a 7-day pass from Interrail to do this whole journey. The girls at Interrail were just as excited as we were when we told them about this. So they gave us the passes, and then we were just kind of off on our merry way, and I've never done anything like this before. They were really helpful whenever I had a question, but not through any fault of Interrail. It is quite a complicated process, because yes, a pass allows you to hop on and hop off trains as you please. However, it's not quite as straightforward as that, because you do often need seat reservations at a lot of these trains. And I didn't realise quite how complicated that would be, because there isn't one website that sorts them all out. Every single train provider has its own website. So there have been a lot of moving parts. Had we have had 6 months to a year's worth of planning, this would have been a bloody doddle. We've had 6 days to 10 days to plan all of this. So I felt like there was quite a lot of moving parts. And I honestly expected to arrive at the Eurostar, scan our pass, and for them to be like, computer says no. Well, the fact that we're on, now I'm feeling a bit more optimistic, I'm going to be totally honest.
So I did have a little, because, and I think this is a testament to the fact that there's not sort of a one train operator across
No, which is a shame.
And so therefore booking your seats separately is a bit complicated. So when I came from Oxford to Paddington, I actually did go up to the information desk, and I was like, I have this QR code on the app.
Yeah.
But also I have this bit of paper that says that I have a seat reservation. And she was like, yeah,
that's good, isn't it? I know, when I first scanned mine, because I came from Lincolnshire because I was with family, and so I got on the train and tried to scan it, and it didn't scan, and I went up to the guy and fully expecting him to be like, you've done all of this wrong, this is not going to work, you are stranded here forever. And he went, oh, those Interrail passes don't often scan, off you go, and he just opened the barriers for me. But again, it was like really normal and common for him to see a pass like that, whereas for me it's the first time I've ever seen it, so I was like, am I doing this right?
And also when he was like, oh, Interrail pass, and I was like, gosh, aren't I adventurous?
I ended up doing exactly the same. It didn't scan, and I went, oh well, I've got a real few days then, because I'm going to Portugal. Before I knew it, he was like, on to the next person, didn't give a shit.
It's like, who is this 64-year-old?
This is honestly though, such a big thing. Like, I've never done anything like this before, so I feel like I'm telling everyone, and it's a really big deal.
Do you know, something that I will say is that, so when I was in my early 20s, I did do quite a lot of travelling, and would not book anything and trust that it would sort of work. And for example, I remember I was in Bolivia. I had assumed that there would be a cash point.
Oh no.
There was no cash point. I was in the middle of nowhere. I had £5 and I needed to have accommodation, a meal, and I needed to get a 4-hour trip back to
very race across the world.
But it didn't freak me out.
Whereas,
now, I think, fast forward 10 years or so, and I think, you have slightly higher expectations because you're not a poor student, you have a tiny bit more cash.
Yeah.
And also your sense of adventure maybe is less because you're like, annual leave is limited and I need to use it wisely.
Yeah.
So it is exciting to just, be a little bit more spontaneous.
A little bit more spontaneous. However, this is a very meticulously planned 7 days, Imogen.
Spontaneous within some really firm boundaries.
So we do have, this is leg 1. It's quite late, again, because we only came to book our train. It's very last minute,
yes.
So we've kind of slim pickings, but here we are.
Note to self, if you want to get to Paris, you do need to book ahead.
So that would be our vice number 1. And then I think our vice number 2, I know it'd be 1 and B, would just be kind of trust the process. I think I haven't trusted the process and I've freaked out along the way, but that was just through a lack of experience, and now we're doing it. And nobody's told us that we're not allowed to be here yet, so
and I have
to drink the wine.
Oh, the wine has been lovely. The catch-up's been great. We've got plenty of space.
Yeah, absolutely. It is nice.
And I have totally trusted you, so...
I know. That's what's freaking me out, I think. Imagine if we get there and then there's no hotels or anything and you're just like, oh, Abbie, you've done this wrong.
Oh, no, you've nailed it. And you said earlier, you were like, need to get a corruption.
We're only in France for less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
We will arrive at like midnight and then we are out of here tomorrow, which is mad.
Yeah.
So this time tomorrow night we're going to be in Spain.
So 12 hours in Paris and then 4 hours from Paris to Hendaye. Are we saying that right?
I'm saying Hendaye.
Yeah.
Hendaye, yeah.
But then I guess the French would be like Hendaye. I have no idea.
Do you speak French?
I mean like GCSE.
Okay, I learned it in primary, so un, deux, trois. I want.
J'aime bien le piscine.
Plan for tomorrow. Our train leaves Paris at midday. Mm-hmm. We need a good coffee and a good croissant.
And it'd be nice to see the Eiffel Tower.
I don't think we're going to get anywhere near it.
Like just drive past it.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Okay. I've never seen it at night.
No,
maybe we can go there now.
Yeah.
We've got to get an Uber, I think. Anyway, we'll figure that one out when we get there. Yeah. But so far, 10, marks out of 10?
Marks out of 10, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
We've had a lovely catch up.
Yeah.
We've had some lovely snacks and lovely wine. It's been great.
Yeah. You look like you're absolutely chilled, mate.
I am. I've had so little to do.
Great. Okay, well, we will update you at some point else.
Too sweet.
Yeah.
We can say.
Yeah, whenever. Probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
We've got a 4-hour, 45-minute train. We both have grand plans to try and finish a book on this trip, but realistically we're going to do so much chinwaggy, we're not going to finish a book.
Well, so book-wise, what have you brought?
Let me dig it out. I have bought this absolute classic.
Real intellectual stimulation.
You know, I've had a lot of intellect, and now I need filth.
Okay, so I'm just going to describe this. You cannot see this. Right now, we are seeing a book with there was someone wearing some white leggings. There is a hand cupping the bottom.
Yeah.
There is a riding prop.
Yeah.
We are, of course, talking about Riders by Gilly Cooper.
I've never read it, but I have obviously watched Rivals. I need a bit of filth to stick my teeth into. So that's what I'm going to be doing. What have you brought?
So I've got Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. Sally Rooney.
Sally Rooney. Oh, good. I might read that after.
Yeah, there has been like mixed reviews about it because she likes to use a lot of words.
Yeah. And so do you, though.
Also true. So it is quite flowery.
Okay.
But, hoping to get a good chunk through.
Okay, great. Well, I feel like we should maybe have a little debrief after a few chapters.
Yeah,
I'll let you know
let's do
who's shagging who.
All right. And I'll let you know who's having an emotional breakdown and who isn't.
Read into that what you will about their mental states at the moment. Should we chat again tomorrow?
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Good morning. Good morning. It's 6:40 a.m. on Tuesday.
So it's day 3. So last time we updated you, we had just embarked upon this journey from London to Paris, and we were on time. We were eating food, drinking wine, happy. It's been a whole few hours since then. And I think it's safe to say that our first European leg of the journey, so leaving Paris, perhaps wasn't quite as expected, but we'll get to that.
Yes.
So we had a really nice time in Paris.
Yes. So we got there really late. So
Yeah.
we arrived at midnight.
Yeah.
And then we decided we'd get up really early to do a run.
Yeah.
Which was amazing because it meant that we climbed the steps, we looked at that beautiful view of Paris.
Yeah.
Got a croissant.
Yeah.
Had a little walk through some absolutely incredible, gorgeous vintage markets.
Yeah, so we stayed in an area of Paris called San Juan, a region of Paris called San Juan, and it was like, I think it's like a northern suburb, a little bit kind of Shoreditchy, we said, didn't we?
Yeah.
Quite edgy. Very unlike us. The hotel was called Mob House, and it was really cool. It was a bit like the Hoxton. It had an outdoor pool.
Yeah.
And it was just a very cool vibe, wasn't it? But in a really nice area. So we mooched around some of the markets. Unfortunately, apparently it has like the biggest flea market in the world, but that wasn't open fully. So that opened at midday, I think, on Monday. So we didn't get the chance to do that. But it wasn't just one market. It was like a collection of stalls and little shops, and so beautiful.
And just like such gorgeous antique finds, and you know, obviously some of it was extortionately expensive, but a lot of it just needed to be willing to search.
I know.
And we both decided that should we ever, you know, do the romantic big doer-upper type houses and to go back there and just load up a van.
It was
stuff.
such a nice area, and even though obviously we weren't next to the Eiffel Tower, it still very much felt like we were in Paris, didn't it? We sat and had a leisurely coffee on the side of the road, and just it felt like a film set. These guys were loading up vans with like amazing artwork, and that incredible shop that we saw but was closed with loads
all the
of
Chanel stuff,
all the vintage Chanel. Very nice. So it's safe to say we had a really nice morning, and then our train was at 12:11.
Yes. And we were in an Uber to Paris and Montparnasse.
Yeah.
And brilliant French there. And the Uber driver was being extremely relaxed about the whole thing. And at one point I was like, nous avons un train à midi et nous sommes assez inquiets, which means like, we're quite worried. At which point he was like, all right, foot on the gas. Did we make the train?
We did not make the train. But there was a series of unfortunate events that led up to that. So we went to check out the hotel, and a woman kind of jumped the queue to check in.
Yeah.
Who checks in at bloody 11 a.m?
Yes.
She even paid bonus money to check in. So we were stood there for ages waiting for her to do that before we could check out. The Uber, like, in hindsight, we should have checked. We were actually at a slightly further away train station, and Paris traffic. We had to go through all of the centre of Paris. So
I know that we'll come back to this, but I was like, there won't be any traffic in Paris because there's been so much wonderful, you know, news and coverage about how much it's about cycling now.
Yeah, it ain't. Let me know that is Imogen's alarm telling us to get out of bed. It's the most intense alarm. You need to change that. It's too much.
Oh, I do, because it, you know, really gives me the fear of God. Just don't turn off any more that may appear.
I can't deal with the amount of alarms. Also, the fact that you just like reeled off that line in French. I was like on the Eurostar on the way from London to Paris. Do you speak French? You were like, no, just, you know, a little bit of GCSE. That is not a little bit of GCSE. Imogen managed to tell the taxi driver that she was very anxious about how late we were going to be. That's not GCSE French. My GCSE Spanish is un copa de vino blanco. But anyway, so we unfortunately, really annoying, because we actually arrived probably with about 6 or 7 minutes to go from our train at Paris station, literally ran with our suitcases. It was looking good. The doors closed 2 minutes before departure. We got there with about 4 minutes to departure. Would have been able to just run through and scan our tickets, but we got caught in this huge crowd of people who we assumed were getting on the same train. So we were like, oh, okay, well, we don't need to rush because this train isn't going to leave without all of these people. Turns out they were actually queuing for the train on the platform next to the one that we were. So as we got through the barrier, our train literally just slowly pulled away.
And it was sort of tantalisingly slowly. And we were like, what? And then we were like, if we're going to be late, we might as well be late.
Exactly.
Not like 30 seconds.
Spectacularly late. But the annoying thing is, we actually weren't. We were stood there waiting to go through. We just assumed that everybody else was. Anyway, long story short, really annoyingly, we missed our first train.
So we had a lovely lunch with a glass of rosé.
Not gonna lie, I was on the brink of a nervous breakdown. When we first got in the taxi, I was like, oh, trains just make me a bit anxious with the timing, because, you know, they don't wait for you. And then,
Like,
point proven.
We'll be fine.
Yeah, we managed to go to the customer service. Thankfully, just kind of swap our reservation over to a later train, which was annoying because later, also it had a change, was a slightly longer journey, but it didn't end up ruining the day.
No, and the guy was super helpful. We had a long lunch, and then actually it was still a really nice journey, and we got to San Sebastián at, 8 p.m?
Yeah, about 8 p.m. We were probably meant to get there a couple of hours earlier, so 6, half 6. So it wasn't huge. That was potentially our swim in the sea moment. But look, I'm not gonna respect the small stuff. We got changed really quickly and we went out to explore San Sebastián, which was a total vibe.
Yes. What is your impressions of San Sebastián?
Oh, 10 out of 10. Like 10, I'm going to come back. Such a nice vibe. Feels like probably one of the nicest parts of Spain I've ever seen. Really clean, really beautiful, really not touristy. Like it felt like a very lovely Spanish holiday destination.
I guess, yes, when we say not touristy, we mean we didn't hear many Brits abroad.
No, there was one group, wasn't there, in one restaurant that was singing. But the vibe in San Sebastián is like kind of Dubrovnik, if you've ever been to Dubrovnik, in that like we went to the old town and there was loads of little bars and restaurants. Pintos, is that how it's? Yeah, where you like hop between bars and have drinks and have a little nibble, and we just had the most divine food.
Oh. And I think, so we'd been to 2 places, and then when we went to the third, we'd taken it in turns, who's getting drinks, who's getting food, and you returned to the table with not only a plate of patatas bravas.
Yeah, obviously.
But also a cheesecake, of which the region is very famous for.
Exactly, because we're in the Basque region, yeah. So we realised that there was this one place which was apparently world famous for its cheesecake, unfortunately closed on a Monday. Yeah. Don't go on a Monday. But I had to get the cheesecake, and who said you can't patatas bravas and cheesecake at the same time?
It was glorious to switch between that lovely garlicky and cheesecake. And I think the thing that we definitely have said that we need to do a bit more research in San Sebastián and definitely make plans to come back.
Definitely.
Also, the smell.
Yeah.
It's such a floral smelling city.
Yeah, it's like a combination of very clean, lovely sea air and loads of beautiful plants. It's very green for Spain. But anyway, it is currently 10 to 7 on what day is it? Tuesday? Tuesday morning. We are actually dangerously early for this train, but that's the right way round. And we are heading to a place called Pamplona.
Yes.
For a couple of hours, basically. Like it's a bit of a higgledy-piggledy journey today, but the nice thing about that is that we'd never have been to Pamplona if it weren't for that. Then we have a long lunch in Madrid, and then we hopefully end up in a place called Café, where the forecast is around 40 degrees this evening.
It is absolutely bonkers. When you look at the weather app, it just looks like that temperature is going to climb all day.
I know.
And I think we're going to be very grateful for quite a cool train, I'm hoping.
Yeah. But no, so far the trains have been really lovely.
Wi-Fi from Paris to Café yesterday. I had a little bit of work to do. 10 out of 10 for the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. And at one point we were going at 193 miles per hour. We covered over 500 miles on the train yesterday. That's good, isn't it?
And the other thing is it was so quiet. In fact, we had to whisper. We were sat opposite this lovely, much older French couple who were asking us a few questions.
Yeah.
They were very intrigued by your camera.
My camera. I was just letting Imogen do the talking. But yeah, that was our day yesterday. Bit of a fail, bit of a disappointing start, I will be honest, because I feel like also anybody that knows me is going to be like, of course you missed your train. But we made up for it. And I think actually what we've done is show you lovely listeners that it doesn't have to go to plan in order for it to still be enjoyable.
Didn't cost us any more. And we had a lunch in Paris.
Yeah.
How romantic was that?
We said lunch in Paris and dinner in San Sebastián is the bougiest way to live a life, isn't it? What will today bring? We'll let you know.
Cheers.
Happy last train of the day.
Happy last train of the day. It's 5:30. The last time we did a recording, it was 7 o'clock this morning.
It was, wasn't it?
Which feels like 2 days ago.
It feels like months ago. And we've done... Wait, is this our third train of the day? Yeah. Yes. Because we did... First train was 7 a.m. to go to a place called Pamplona, which is where they do the annual bull race.
Yes.
In Spain, which is very famous.
Yeah, and what I hadn't realised, so it's that race where they run through the city. They have to run something obscure like 896 metres or something like that. And basically all of the townspeople who participate have to outrun a bull who's like wild in the streets. Yeah. Thousands of people participate. And I hadn't realised that they do it over multiple days. Yeah. But that's what Pamplona is actually famous for.
Yeah, but it was absolutely beautiful. Annoyingly, the train station was slightly out of the actual central town, and we did have very big luggage. We had just the maddest situation. Obviously, we tried to drop our bags because we had massive suitcases. We were like, right, let's just drop the bags in a locker or something, and then wander, which was a half-hour stroll, into Pamplona. Do you want to explain what actually happened?
Yeah. So you amazingly found an app called Radical Storage, which subsequently did become very helpful to us. But it suggested a place called Wendy's.
Which was a 12-minute walk from the train station, so we were like, we could do that with the bags.
Yeah, and I think ordinarily that would have been fine, but it was quite cobbly pavement
really
to get
cobbly.
there. And on our wheelie suitcases, not so brilliant. But anyway, we arrived...
Forearm workout though, I would say.
Yes, and real good core engagement as well.
Yeah.
And we arrive at Wendy's. I mean, like, oh, that's unusual because it's a dog grooming spa. But how innovative that they're just using their premises to also have this additional revenue stream.
£27 to put 4 bags, €27 to put 4 bags. But we were like, do you know what? We really like. Well, this might be the only time we're ever in Pamplona, so
exactly, and it would facilitate power walking through Pamplona. So we enter, and they can see us coming, and you can see a look of worry through the glass.
We're not carrying a dog that needs to be groomed.
Yeah, and there is a little tiny dog who is shivering underneath a shower, knees quivering, and you can see these two women, and they're like, oh no, not again.
Yeah.
Turns out they haven't been storing luggage for about a year.
No, and through the absolute genius of Google Translate, we managed to get to the point that they would not take our bags, even though we begged them. We said, we don't care if you're authorised or not, we just take our suitcase, please. Meanwhile, this poor little dog that was midway through his hair dry was just shaking in the background, and it was the cutest. And also the most bizarre thing, I likened it to Monsters Inc. when they go through the door and they just keep appearing in really random places. It's the fact that we were just in like gorgeous rural Spain, and then all of a sudden we were in a dog groomer. So that didn't work out. So we went back to the train station, and we just ended up, thankfully, a taxi pulled up. No Uber.
No Uber, and actually when we were there were no taxis.
No, but we did wait 5 minutes, and then a taxi arrived, and so thankfully we did manage to get to central Pamplona, and I'm really glad we did because it was so stunning.
Yes, and the other thing, aside from obviously the bull racing thing, Ernest Hemingway really put Pamplona on the map. I think one of his books was set there.
And I think he went and wrote it there, or in San Sebastián or something. Yeah. So it's a 2-hour train from San Sebastián, but it's also, what was it, like an hour's drive?
Yeah, so it's a slow train.
It was a relatively slow train, but it was fine. You slept the whole way.
For me, it was a 5-minute journey. I had such a fantastic snooze.
But I would 110% go back and do those two as a combination.
Yes.
I'd do a few nights in San Sebastián, and I would do a few nights in Pamplona, because through virtue of only having about an hour and 2 massive suitcases and very rumbling tummies, we basically sat in this very famous cafe called Café Iruña, and had churros, world famous churros supposedly, and coffee, which were exceptional.
And made even better by the fact that I think there were a group of Germans next to us, and they asked for jam on toast. And of course, they came out with ham on toast. And they were like, what is this meat? And he was like, that's what you asked for. And they were like, no,
strawberry
jam.
Spread, strawberry. So meanwhile, we were just dipping our churros in our chocolate in silence.
Oh gosh, yeah, we just fit right in. We're so Spanish.
And every time we see jam on now, we're like, oh, jam on toast. That is an interesting one. That's when you see ham on toast and we eat jam on toast.
And they were so upset by it. But we got a taxi, then we got a taxi back to the station, to this little tiny station in Pamplona. And then we went to Madrid.
Yeah.
And that was a 3-hour journey or so.
Yeah, that was quite a busy train, to be honest, but it was very fast, considering the distance we travelled. So 3 hours. Was that? I don't. We keep being a bit confused because we technically have a first class Interrail global pass, very, very kindly gifted, as we mentioned. But we have been booking and paying for all of our seat reservations and things. So there is a little bit more admin that goes with it, which we will probably dive into, if not on this podcast episode, definitely on another podcast episode. For anybody that's interested in doing something like this. So it's a bit confusing because I think Imogen fully expects it to be like the Oriental Express?
Orient Express.
And every time we got on the train, she's either pleasantly surprised or a bit disappointed with the standard. She's like, are we going to be getting free food here? Is there going to be a spa? Excuse me, where's the wine bar?
Well, okay, I feel like I need to put some caveats here. Basically, I'm constantly hungry most of the time.
Yeah, that's fair.
And so on that train, I was like, wow, 3 hours since breakfast, like, I'm just hoping for a snack.
Yeah, you mentioned it once, twice.
Yeah, yeah, and like you've been carrying these grapes around since King's Cross.
Thank goodness.
Like,
just rolling one your way every now and again.
Yeah, and then, like I was like, I had a couple. And so, that one was a little bit more of a ropey train. And we arrived in Madrid. And I think it's worth mentioning that there has been a heat wave. So it's 38 degrees.
Yeah, the heat was pretty intense. And also a big contrast from coming from the coast.
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it, how it's just got hotter and hotter and hotter.
Yes.
And thankfully, we managed to find a bag drop. Although annoyingly not at Madrid train station. You had to go out to like a bike rental across the road. But thank goodness we did, because it was hot, wasn't it?
Yes. And we decided that we had to do a bit of a power walk through Madrid to kind of make it count, because we only really had like an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And whilst Madrid, there are some really, really cool spots, and obviously there's loads of great things about Madrid, it does sort of emphasise that when you have a limited period of time, like
being in a large city is not ideal.
Not ideal, and actually the quaintness and the smallness of some of those more obscure places is great.
Do you know what, though? I don't think we could have done this. Well, we probably could have done this journey without going via at least one or two big cities, but it would have added a lot. Like, look at the speed of that train today. It would have been a 50-minute drive, and yet it was a 2-hour train.
Yeah.
Whereas in order to do the high-speed trains, I think you have to at some point cross through a big city. But yeah, definitely, I would say more enjoyable stopovers have been in the smaller places.
Yeah.
But I also, when I was like we've been like Instagramming the whole thing, so if you're totally new to this and you're listening for the first time and you want to see some of this stuff, it's all on our Instagram, and we'll be doing TikToks and things. So I'm kind of Instagramming it as we're going, and I realised as I was doing some of the stuff on the train this morning, we've only actually had one evening because we got to Paris so late.
Yeah.
It honestly feels like we've been away for about 2 weeks.
It really, really does. And I feel like it's a great way to sort of trick yourself into sort of expanding time. Because the other thing is, I know that personally, I sometimes find it quite difficult to switch off from work, and I need a couple of days to kind of ease into it. And having the 2 or 3 hours here or there, I've like caught up with my emails.
Yeah, same.
I've done the 1 or 2 things I said, okay, I will do those this week.
Yeah.
And it's great, but those don't feel like they've encroached on a day or stolen a day.
Then when we get to our destinations, we can just like put our phones down, have a nice time, not worry about it, because we sort of feel like we're on top of it. So, I mean, that's not going to be the case for everybody, is it? It depends what your work situation is. But I think particularly if you are like of a self-employed kind of capacity, this is actually a very lovely way to travel without feeling like you desperately need to be making the most of every single second. And, we've got wine on the train now, so we're having a great time. And
the other thing that we do need to share that happened whilst we were in Madrid is that we were obviously in search of some food.
Yeah.
And we walked into this amazing cafe that also had like a t-shirt shop next to it called Dear Tea.
Dear Tea, yeah.
And they are like a ethical company. They sustainably source their cotton and everything, and it's a Spanish brand.
Portugal,
all made in Portugal. And we were both like devouring.
Literally.
Yeah.
Imogen saw that there was like natural homemade ice lollies. They said they've just started making them. Before the guy even finished his sentence telling us about them, one of them was in Imogen's mouth.
Oh yeah, and I inhaled the whole thing. It was incredible. But then the owner was like, "Oh, you girls like have the style that we'd really like. Like, can we take a picture of you eating the ice cream? And you can have a free ice cream." Oh,
we have never ran to a freezer quicker, have we?
Never, and especially for the fact that it was the sustainable brand. And we got free ice cream.
Yeah, we got a whole lunch from there. It was great. They said that they have 2 stores in Madrid. Coffee was absolutely elite, nice coffee. They made us train snacks. So we've just had bagels, etc. on the train. Really good. Well worth searching out that. Good little, considering we didn't have a plan and no idea where to go, we just stumbled across it, and we also bought matching t-shirts.
We did. 12 years old. I'm very pleased with that one.
I would only regret, nothing haunts you more than the crap that you didn't buy.
And I just feel, we'll forever remember the free ice cream and lovely trip.
Yeah, so we're refreshing his Instagram feed every other second to see when we're going to be on there and how great we look on it.
Well, the guy said to me, he was like, "Oh, now you're famous." And I was like,
at tag Green Queens.
Yes, tag at green.queens.pod, please.
But what's funny is that he was like, "Your style, like you're so on brand with our store." Little did we know, we were so sweaty. Our makeup was completely ran down our face.
I actually dropped some of that mango ice cream down my cleavage, and I have to say, sweet relief down there.
Sweet relief. Literally. I mean, you did those stupid out and eat it.
Yeah, I actually did do that. I feel ashamed. Well, it was fine. I wasn't too sweaty down there.
But so far so good. This was always going to be our longest. What was potentially going to be the most tedious day, and it's been actually very enjoyable. It's not like we've been sat on a train from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m, and that is how long the journey is going to be today. It's going to be a 12-hour journey, but on and off, and that's made it so much more manageable.
And there's been some great snoozing, great bit of work. I've actually finally really got my teeth sunk into Intermezzo by Sally Rooney, and it has taken time because I know that book is a bit divisive.
And every time you pick it up, you fall asleep.
Oh yeah, just the gentle rocking of the train. The fact that there's not loads going on in that book so far.
Yeah,
it's a recipe for a good snooze.
Yeah, but we are heading now to a place called Café.
Yes.
For pronunciation, I imagine, which is going to be intensely hot.
Still 38 degrees, and we've looked at the weather, and it's going to be 36 even at sort of 9 p.m.
But it is thunderstorming at the moment, isn't it? Which has been really amazing to see. It's been really beautiful actually to see like rural Spain on the train. So I've enjoyed that a lot. There's been a lot of solar. Every time we see it, we go, wow! We just did a video of an electric bus earlier. We're having a bloody whale of a time. 2 geeks on tour.
Oh, and especially because that bus, it was charging, because the old adage is that you should charge whilst you stop, not stop whilst you charge. And buses are great because they obviously stop frequently and predictably. And this amazing thing just emerged from this arm connected to the top of the bus, charged it. I really nerded out, and it was quite annoying because, to be honest, at that point we should have been jumping in a taxi.
We probably should have been getting on that bus. Anyway, such is life. So what have we got left of this train? We've got a couple of hours, and then we've got back from
Cáceres.
We will report back. It looks beautiful. It might not be. We'll let you know. And then we've got 2 shorter days of travel, which is lovely jubbly.
Yeah. We should also just mention that there is quite an obscure cartoon on, which you might be able to hear in the background. So if you can, that's what that is.
Apologies. We are on a train in Spain, and there is rain. Goodbye. And wine.
Well, that concludes part 1.
P1, of which we were like, we'll just do some really short, kind of 1 to 2 minute voice notes on each train, 15/30 minutes later.
I know, and just I could not believe it when I put them all in one timeline. I was like, this is 2 episodes, my friends. But I think more joy to share.
Absolutely. And I think, if anything, it's testament to the fact that we didn't choose the quickest route. We chose the slow, meandering journey through Europe. And so the podcast should be reflective of that. It's not going to be a bash this one out. It's going to be a long, enjoyable listen, I hope.
But as ever, please do let us know what you think. And we can't wait to share part 2.
Part 2. I think it gets even more glorious. In fact, I know it gets even more glorious because I lived it and I recorded this. Previous me did that.
Even more glorious, even more unhinged.
Oh, it gets so much more unhinged. So buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. The hangover is pending.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Green Queens.
If you did and you'd like to hear more, we'd be so very grateful if you could like,
subscribe, and join the Green group chat for weekly episodes.